What is the best ship for a new player in Star Citizen? That is a question that has plagued citizens within the verse for years. With over 200 ships in the game and more added every other month, it can be really intimidating to choose the one that's right for you. Come with me as I show you the top 5 best ships for new players in Star Citizen. To make this a good list, we're going to need some categories to rate these ships. The first category will be utility, as it pertains to the variety of gameplay you can do. Combat, specifically ship combat, and how well it can hold its own. Capabilities, ships in Star Citizen have a variety of features and abilities, albeit some better than others. And the price versus the value. Is what you pay really worth it in the long run? Let's get to it. If you like Star Wars, you'll be a fan of the first ship on our list. Appearing to look very similar to a Razor Crest, the ship from The Mandalorian, the Cutter is a solid ship for any player. Relatively small compared to most ships, it has a remarkable amount of uses. Let's start with the capabilities. All ships have components that vary in size based on the ship. The components on the Cutter are all small, or size 1. The biggest factors for that are the shields, weapons, and quantum drive. The Cutter has 2 size 1 fuel tanks, and these cannot be upgraded just like on any other ship. But having 2 of them gives us a lot more range than any other small ship in the game. The Cutter sports 2 size 1 gun mounts and 2 size 1 missile racks, making it more than capable of defending herself. Having only a single size 1 shield generator means that firepower is necessary. That brings us into combat. Given all its weaponry, it is a feisty little ship, but with only a single size 1 shield generator, it is an easy target. You could probably get away with low-level bounty hunting, although once you have to take on medium ships or multiple small ships, you could be in trouble. Utility is really where this ship shines. The rear of the ship drops down as a ramp, and admittedly, the side VTOL engines are a pretty cool feature. It really adds to the immersion and makes you feel like it's a spaceship. The interior is spacious despite its size, even capable of holding a small vehicle. It has a bed, of course, for bed logging, which is a must for explorers out in the verse. If you can fit a small vehicle, you can most definitely fit an SCU box. With all that in mind, it has the ability to run mini gameplay loops. Delivery missions, low-level bounty hunting, and bunkers are all on the table and great missions for new players. That gives the Cutter a solid 2 out of 5 in utility, given its varied ability for missions, but it lacks any space for expanded gameplay down the road. While it is capable of fighting, the lack of real firepower and just 1 shield generator makes this a very vulnerable ship. That will land this at a 2 out of 5 in combat. The capabilities are not bad given the size. Size 1 quantum drives generally aren't very fast, and the fastest ones guzzle fuel. But with all size 1 components, despite 2 fuel tanks to help it out, this is an easy 2 out of 5. All things considered, it is a good overall value when the price of this ship is just $45. $60 if it's included as part of a starter pack, which is going to have to be bought if you want to play the game at all. Placing this at a respectable 3 out of 5. The next ship on the list is quite popular, and no, not because it looks like a penguin. The Avenger Titan has long been a fan favorite for its accessibility and how well rounded it is. What the Cutter cannot provide in combat, the Titan absolutely can. Outfitted with 2 size 3 weapons, 1 under each wing, and a size 4 hardpoint mounted under the front of the ship, this thing packs a punch. Oh, and did I mention the dual size 3 missile mounts as well? For a small ship, it is armed to the teeth. It also has double the amount of shields as the Cutter with 2 size 1 generators, meaning double the hit points and double the recharge rate, giving the Avenger Titan the ability to take on challenging targets with ease. Those facts slotted at a solid 3 out of 5. When we dive past the surface, it tells a different story. Past the armaments and fighter-like appearance, it lacks solid capabilities. It only has size 1 components all around. Although it does have 2 size 1 coolers, that doesn't make up for much. Supporting a smaller quantum tank than the Cutter, it has a limited ability to travel. Weighting that up against its combat-related components is a middle-of-the-road 3 out of 5. A weak 3, but a 3 nonetheless. As we move on to utility, we can really see the Titan shine here. A similar build to the Cutter, having a rear ramp, a decent amount of cargo space for a small ship, and a bed makes this ship well-rounded. It really maintains the same level of versatility, allowing completion of the standard delivery and bunker mission sets. It also enables the possibility of taking on much higher threat bounties than the Cutter. I'd place this as a 2.5 out of 5, not quite the feel of a 3, but not weak enough to warrant a 2 either. When we lay it all out on the table, it's easy to see why so many people favor this nimble yet versatile ship. Priced at a very reasonable $60 for the ship itself, or $75 if you buy it as part of a starter pack, I have to rate this at a 3.5 out of 5, just given its increased combat abilities. The next ship on our list doesn't resemble anything recognizable except maybe a dinner plate or a frisbee. The Nomad, manufactured by Consolidated Outlands, is a great step up from the Avenger Titan. Despite its unassuming appearance, this is a very capable fighter. Equipped with 3 size 3 hardpoints, coupled with 2 size 4 missile racks, this has the ability to be absolutely lethal. The Nomad without a doubt is a hard hitter for its class as a schmedium ship. When you weigh that kind of firepower against the fact it has a staggering not 2, but 3 size 1 generators, this lands at an easy 4 out of 5 in combat. The utility of this ship far exceeds that of the previous 2. Underneath the weaponry and shields is a spacious ship with a large cargo elevator capable of holding a staggering 24 SCU of cargo, 6 times more than that of the others so far. Obviously, the Nomad has the ability to do the same mission set as them, but with that kind of space, it can very lightly dabble in cargo. Granted, not enough to make any real money, but enough to learn the basics. It also has this really cool room where the bed is located that just feels lived in and cozy. The cargo space is just large enough to squeeze a rock inside to explore the mining loop. With so much access to different gameplay styles, I'd say the Nomad earns a 3.7 out of 5. The capability of the Nomad is somewhat of a letdown. Despite the larger size, past the weapons, everything is still only size 1. Sure, it has 3 shield generators and 2 coolers. However, with a quantum fuel tank that is a little more than a third of what the cutter has, it doesn't have long distance ability either. Given those facts, I think the flying plate hits at around a 3 out of 5. The Nomad is a versatile ship that enables new players, though it really lacks some features to cash in on the value potential it has. I give it a reasonable 3.5 out of 5. As we move on to number 4, guys, I'd like to ask you to subscribe and leave a like on the video if you've enjoyed it so far. It really is a big help. And please, I'd love to hear what your favorite ship is in the verse in the comments down below. Alright, let's get back to it. The next ship on our list is arguably the most popular ship in the game. Widely seen across different missions and having many variants, including one for medical and close air support, we have the Cutlass series, specifically the Cutlass Black. This airframe became so popular the devs created different versions to accommodate different styles. The Cutlass Black is unmatched in versatility for its size among starter ships. How can it not be with its capabilities? Unlike the Nomad, it sports nothing but size 2 components. That means the quantum drive can be upgraded to an XL1, the fastest quantum drive in the verse. Naturally, it has the largest fuel tank up to this point as well. Did I mention the 46 SCU cargo grid that even has a built-in tractor beam in the back? It even has a nifty VTOL mode for better stabilization, and those giant thrusters give the Cutlass amazing speed. You can't deny that this ship is easily a 4 out of 5. After talking about the components, we have to talk about the armaments. Armed with 4 size 3 weapon hardpoints and 16 missiles. Oh, in this bad boy, a top-mounted turret armed with an additional pair of size 3 weapons. Pairing all that with the size 2 shield generator, and this ship is terrifying to go up against. It even has bump seats in the back and an armory to support ground assaults and shipboarding. This ship is incredibly lethal and has earned the first 5 out of 5 in this lineup. At this point, utility goes without saying. The uses of this ship are fantastic. Bunkers, yes. Bounty hunting, yes. Rock mining, easily. Cargo running, sort of. Crew gameplay, without a doubt. With the ability to do most anything, this has to be a 4 out of 5. But what about value? You know, with over 200 ships that vary in price from $60 to hundreds of dollars, it can be really difficult to argue value, especially considering this ship costs over $100. On the other hand, this is such a staple of a ship and pillar that new players can lean on, I have to give it a 5 out of 5 for its value. With a ship on this list like the Cutlass Black, is it even possible to get better as far as starter ships go? I think so. Further down the spectrum, we have the Constellation Andromeda. One of the pricier starter packages, it has a lot to offer, and it's one of the oldest ships in the game. Like the Cutlass, the Constellation frame has many models. The Andromeda is the attack variant of this series. As you might expect, this means that it is heavily armed. The pilot has access to 4 size 5 gun slots. Additionally, this thing has a size 5 missile rack that holds 24 size 2 missiles. If that wasn't enough, it has an additional size 4 missile rack carrying 28 size 1 missiles. This thing is absolutely nuts. Honestly, it's more accurately a missile boat than a gunship, although it has 2 turrets, both of which have dual size 2 gun points on them. Combine that with the fact it's all hid behind a size 3 shield generator, and this thing is a monster in combat. If you don't know, size 2 and size 3 shields are 3 of the next tier down, so that means a size 3 shield is basically 3 size 2 shields. A nifty feature of this ship is the P-52 Merlin docked in the back. That's a very nimble and very small single-seat fighter. Putting all this together, and the ship is absolutely a 5 out of 5 when fully crewed in combat. Although, if you have no gunners or someone to pilot the extra ship, it's more closer to a 3 out of 5, just due to the fact that it lacks the ability to turn and maneuver quickly, making it vulnerable to fighters like the Gladius or the Scorpius. The utility possibilities here really are vast. With the weaponry it's packing, it is more than capable of softening the hardest targets in bounty missions. A 96 SU cargo grid can fit a wide variety of vehicles, including the rock mining vehicle to get after some hadanite mining. And of course, the standard bit of missions we mentioned before. The cargo grid isn't bad, but you won't see big money from it running supplies around. I think this lands around a 4 out of 5. It's a lot of ship to grow into, and I really like it personally. The capabilities of this ship are great, and it's even better on the Taurus cargo variant. Like the Cutlass, many of the components are size 2, aside from the weapons and the shields of course. 2 size 2 coolers and 2 power plants give the Andromeda a little bit of extra oomph. It does have a VTOL mode, it's just not as cool looking as some of the other ships we've seen. The cargo area actually lowers completely down like a giant elevator. A neat little trick is that you can actually attach boxes to that top railing up there for a little bit of extra space. Of course, a size 2 quantum drive means we can slap an XL1 on this puppy, and since it has a large fuel tank, we can get most anywhere really quickly. This must be a 5 out of 5 for capabilities. Plus, it looks like one of those ships from Starship Troopers. The value here is a bit tricky. You see, this ship alone is $240. I know. And the package is $275. But what all do we get? Is that just for a ship and starter pack? It actually has a long list of hangar items, a bit of extra spending money when you start the game, a bunch of digital items, and a little Barbie car that you can put in your ship to ride around in. So, not bad. I'd actually give this a 4 out of 5 because while powerful, new players don't know a lot of people to help crew them, and it's a lot of ship to try to learn when you're first starting out. I want to tell you guys about a special feature for Star Citizen, but it's not exactly a secret. You can melt any ship and have its value returned to you in store credit. You can also upgrade from one ship to another and you don't have to pay full price, only the difference from one to the other. Citizens have been doing this for years to try out all kinds of different ships. You can start off small and work your way to the big guys. If you're new to Star Citizen, my referral code is going to be in the description and it'll net you some extra money when you're starting out. Best of luck to you in your adventures, and I'll see you guys in the next one.